Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
We start with a breaking news alert. More people have died in Minnesota from the COVID-19 pandemic. The death toll in the state is now at 79. That's 9 more than the day before, with 1,695 total cases reported in the state since the outbreak started. 177 people are in the hospital, with 75 of them in the ICU. In total, 909 people are now listed as recovered. Also breaking this afternoon, 10 more people have now tested positive for the coronavirus in North Dakota. That brings the total positive cases to 341, but 138 are listed as recovered. 13 people are currently in the hospital, and the death toll is still at 9 in the state. We have new information on that stay-at-home order in Minnesota. 23 people have been charged with violating the directive. In many cases, officers added the misdemeanor charge as a secondary offense onto another crime. Among those charged is a man who allegedly went to a hotel to meet a prostitute that he met online. Another involved an alleged drunk driver who got his truck stuck in a construction zone before running off and trying to hide in a shed. The executive order was put into place in mid-March and tells Minnesotans to stay at home unless they're buying food or other limited reasons. They're able to leave as well. Violating an emergency order is punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a maximum fine of $1,000. It was a scary morning for one man when his pickup went into a flooded ditch and couldn't get back out. That's new for you at noon. West Fargo Fire was called to the scene around 2:30 this morning near 21st Avenue West and 15th Street West. Crews found this truck partially submerged in 4 feet of water, but they couldn't find the driver. He was eventually found at the edge of the ditch and was then taken to his hospital. His current condition isn't known. No other information is available. Our morning snow made for some dangerously slick conditions out there. Sergeant Jesse Grable with the Minnesota State Patrol says troopers are busy responding to crashes along I-94 from Moorhead to Alexandria. This one happened by Barnesville. You see the grill and the headlights of that pickup are knocked out after it hit the ditch. No one was injured. One man is now in jail for DUI after crashing into a parked pickup that hit a light pole. Fargo police tell us it happened this morning around 2 in the 1100 block of 44th Street South. 32-year-old Lachaman Ray of Fargo was arrested for DUI. No one was hurt. A shed and a vintage Jeep were destroyed after an intense fire this morning. The Douglas County Sheriff's Department says it started just after midnight at a shed near Miltona, which is just south of the Otter Tail County-Douglas County line. When deputies arrived on the scene, the shed was fully engulfed in flames. Authorities say a 1975 CJ Jeep is considered a total loss, along with everything else inside that shed. The cause of the fire is unknown, but the Sheriff's Department says it doesn't look suspicious at this time. The world's most famous cycling race was finally added to the list of sporting events called off. It may still happen this year, but the Tour de France won't be starting on June 27th in the city of Nice as scheduled. French President Emmanuel Macron made that decision in his speech to the nation on Monday when he announced that all public events with large crowds have been canceled until at least mid-July. The last time the race was not held was in 1946, and that was due to World War II. President Donald Trump is defending his administration's response to the coronavirus pandemic and is looking ahead to reopening businesses across the nation. But some governors are now pushing back, saying that power resides with the states, not the federal government. Natalie Brandt has more.
President Trump is meeting this morning with people who have recovered from the coronavirus.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Monday, the president vigorously defended his response to the pandemic, even playing a campaign-style video during a contentious press briefing.
When you reported it. 0 cases, 0 deaths on January 17th.
February, the entire
January, I said in January.
Your video has a complete gap.
On January 30th.
What did your administration do in February with the time that your travel ban thought?
A lot.
What?
A lot.
And the president asked Dr. Anthony Fauci to clarify comments about whether delaying social distancing measures costs lives.
The first and only time that I went in and said we should do mitigation strongly, the response was, yes, we'll do it.
The president is expected to name a new coronavirus council today. The team will be tasked with advising the president on reopening the economy and country, a decision the president says is his.
When somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total. And that's the way it's got to be.
Your authority is total.
It's total. It's total. And the governors know that.
But many state and local leaders set the restrictions in the first place and say the Constitution gives them the power to lift them.
The president's position is just absurd. It's not the law. It's not the Constitution. We don't have a king. We have a president.
President Trump tweeted a response saying Cuomo's been calling daily, even hourly, begging for everything, and now he seems to want independence. That won't happen. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
And we'll have more information on this on the VNL News app. And the New York Governor, Andrew Cuomo, says the best way to handle reopening the economy is regionally. New York has banded with other northeastern states to try and determine when the virus will allow businesses in that area to reopen. In our consumer alert this afternoon, the world's biggest pork processor says shortages of meat could become a problem in the United States. Smithfield Foods has shut down a plant in South Dakota indefinitely due to a rash of coronavirus cases among employees. Slaughterhouse shutdowns are disrupting the U.S. food supply chain, crimping availability of meat at retail stores and leaving farmers without outlets for their livestock. Smithfield extended the closure of its Sioux Falls plant after initially saying that it would idle temporarily for cleaning. Amazon is hiring an additional 75,000 workers at its facilities on top of the 100,000 new positions it created just last month. The e-commerce giant went on a hiring spree, adding warehouse and delivery workers across the country amid a surge in online shopping during this outbreak. Amazon says it continues to see increased demand and will continue to hire to help serve communities during this unprecedented time. Amazon has also raised employees' hourly pay and doubled overtime pay for warehouse workers. Coming up here at noon, how your smartphone could help curb the coronavirus pandemic and get people back to work a little faster. Plus, later, we hope to check in with the First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Elisa Green as she tells us just how cool we're going to stay for our Tuesday.